So listen, chat, we're going to take a look at the Starfield Direct. People have been curious about my thoughts on this, and I'm going to watch most of it, if not all of it. And I think I have some stuff to contribute, and we'll take a look at a decent amount. This is the one that I've gotten the most requests to talk about. Just to let you know, the other stuff I was really interested in was City Skyline 2, Flight Simulator 2024, maybe one or two other things. I don't know. But this looked good, except it, you know, it's Bethesda. So you have to, like, grain of salt, chat. I know everyone's, like, on the hype train, myself included to an extent. But as I said, this game is attempting to do, like, 8 different things really, really, really well. Can they pull it off? And I feel like Bethesda gets close. And then I know everyone in chat's just going to say no, and that's fine. That's fine.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today, and
I've watched like half of this.
Bethesda Game Studios.
Barely.
You know, we've been so lucky over the decades to make the kind of games that we love here, and that's thanks to all of you. From the Elder Scrolls to Fallout, we love creating these worlds and playing in them just as much as you do. And throughout all that time, we'd often talk about and dream up the space game. What if we could take that feeling of being who you want to be and exploring a new world, but set it in space?
So I've been calling this No Man's Sky
or what you could do, and that is Starfield.
No Man's
We've
Cyberpunk.
come a long way since then with the games we've built, our technology, and all of us here in the studio.
No Man's Skyrimpunk 2077.
A game like this. Today, you'll get to hear from many on the team and see so much of what we think makes our game special. So let's jump in and take a look.
Is his voice becoming higher pitched every time he appears? I have nothing to do with that.
Starfield is our first new universe in over 25 years, but it's still a Bethesda RPG through and through.
Chat, there may be some frame issues stemming from XSplit.
Of unlimited possibilities.
But I mean, yeah, the geometry looks good. Also, if you want to like hear the actual commentary that Todd is doing more than me, just watch the video on its own.
Because the choice of where to go, it's not ours, it's yours. And it wasn't until now that we had the technology to create it.
I mean, again, it looks like No Man's Sky.
To the mountains in the distance.
It's also, this is a Gamebryo engine still. Is it really?
Live in these worlds. That isn't just a backdrop. That moon is actually there orbiting the planet.
Amazing.
Yes, you can
absolutely
visit it
amazing. I can't turn on subtitles. I downloaded the video.
We realistically simulate.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get pissy.
Around it. Our next generation lighting model uses real-time global illumination to light the world based on the type of star and the makeup of the planet's atmosphere.
Yes, but if you drop a number of wheels of cheese, will they clip through the ground? Is there an NPC under the map tying all of the logic together? That's what I need to know.
You can play it in third person.
Okay, so I haven't seen
first person.
Most of the beginning of this chat.
We love exploration and rewarding it, but you do explore differently in this game given its scale.
Okay, I'm going to stop mentioning No Man's Sky, otherwise I would mention it too much.
You can collect resources.
God damn it, I want to say No Man's Sky right now.
Do a mission, and maybe even stumble upon something unexpected.
Is this going to start with him on the planet and then end with him getting into a spaceship and going into space? Don't answer that. I would imagine Todd is doing this gameplay specifically, right? Like, he is doing this himself. That's how dedicated he is.
We do love stuff and all of the items allowing you to pick everything up.
Yeah, it's too much sometimes, though, Todd.
In your data menu. This is the hub for everything you're doing, from your skills to your ship, your missions, and your inventory.
I don't want to be in the inventory overly.
A ton of detail in every object, from all of your weapons, to spacesuits, to food. We just
Fucking
obsess over the
Cyberpunk
details
is just
and food.
inventory
We obsess over
time.
food.
So much inventory time.
When you're done exploring, you can walk back or fast travel to your ship. We have companions and crew you can take with you. I left Vasco here back in my ship.
Planet Space Tars.
Captain Howard.
And he can even say your name.
Whoa! Captain Coward.
Our mission was to convey the wonder and majesty of space exploration, to evoke the romance of the golden age of early spaceflight. And we've been referring to this approach as NASA
Zephyrin Cochrane.
This means a design language where the tech is advanced, yet still looks grounded and relatable.
For us, it's
NASA punk. Why is everything punk?
Interest is obviously the NASA, which is the
Meat punk is what Scorn was.
And then punk, which is all about style.
You can see that visual style coming through in your ship. Your ship is your home for you and your crew.
But wasn't
And
punk also
many
like a
of the
lack of
spaces
style
in our
on
game,
purpose?
It has a slightly retro and analog touch, a bit of lo-fi rather than sci-fi, where everything is well used, worn, and
Well, there's
lived in.
a style.
Alrighty.
Even punk had its own
What's the plan,
style.
Captain?
Cassette
This is
futurism.
your star map. It starts with the planet you're currently on. You can see all of its info and resources. You can choose a landing spot or fast travel to known locations. Backing out further, you can view all the planets in the system. Obviously, the game is big, and it's here you can see planets that have key locations, missions, or life on them, versus the many planets that are barren but resource heavy.
I mean, the
Zoom out
UI
even
looks
further to see all the systems in this
clean,
part of the galaxy.
mostly.
Here, you can plot a course
It's
to
gonna-
ones that
it's-
are light years away.
You know,
This uses your ship's grav drive to fold space and jump to these systems.
like 20 years ago, hearing that a game would be this big, like when they revealed Spore, I would have lost my shit. I would have been so excited. But when I hear it here and now from any game, I'm like, oh god, no, what are you doing? It's too much, stop. Like, how could this be meaningful? Like, how could you go to these planets and each of them have something meaningful?
Welcome to UC Space. Maintain your current course while
How
we
about
scan your ship's
10
cargo.
planets? I'll do 10.
Scan complete. You are cleared for landing at New Atlantis.
As soon as you land in a city like New Atlantis, your eyes are guided upwards.
I listen,
just
chat.
these
I do like
boundless,
the way the city
vast
looks. Look at this.
buildings.
It's the biggest city we've ever made, not just in size, but also in the amount of custom art, crowds, and quests.
I like the style of the city. It reminds me of
When we're
Starfleet.
designing a city is obviously
It looks like Epcot.
supports the story. We try and tell as many small stories as possible.
This is a
Wait,
colony
but I
born
just
from
heard
the
big.
Memorial.
Now I hear
Few
small.
moments of gameplay that make the space feel like it's full of real characters that are going about their day-to-day lives.
I'm sure they'll clip into walls and...
Buddy, it's coffee.
It's also
Hello,
where
welcome
your
to
adventure
the
with
city.
Constellation begins.
Check out this watch. We are selling the watch for much money.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about.
By the time you meet them, Constellation is sort of seen as this mythical group. Most people don't even know they exist anymore. They're the last true explorers.
Chat, are your
in the
frame rates getting
galaxy,
choppy
and they're
on your
trying
end,
to
or
find
is it
the
just
answers
me?
to some of humanity's biggest questions.
The artifacts are so different, so alien, and I'm
A little bit?
certain one of
Okay.
them reached out and spoke to you.
Because it's not choppy on YouTube, but I downloaded the video, so maybe it's a little choppy,
The
tiny
artifact,
bit.
If you could place it on the table here.
Oh my god. Look at how it's coming together.
That means there's a set.
I thought that was Ronald
Built by
Reagan.
An intelligence outside the settled systems.
It's definitely an eclectic cast
Acting.
of characters. You've got Sarah Morgan, the ex-soldier and adventurer, now Constellation's leader. Mateo, the theologian who believes that there's definitely something else out there. Noel, the gifted scientist and Sarah Morgan's protege. And Walter, a very successful businessman
Walter.
in the settled systems and Constellation's
Walter,
financing.
we gotta set up
Anything goes
something
as
on the
long as you
planet,
have money.
Walter, to make money.
There's also Vlad,
Is there
the
oil on the
ex-pilot,
planet, Walter?
Sam Coe, the former space cowboy, and Barrett.
You know what I hate about these pirates?
Barrett?
Completely resistant to my otherwise irresistible charm.
The journey you
Did
take
they
with
just-
Constellation is just
they
the
just-
first
okay.
of many you'll embark on. The Settled Systems is home to all kinds of different stories, people, and adventures for you to uncover.
Listen, chat, the thing I liked most about this direct of what I watched were some of the creature designs. And as much as I want to shit on Bethesda, I have to be really honest, I always get addicted to
the first
Skyrim.
major human settlement in space. The people who live here value law, discipline, and the legacy of humanity.
Vinny, it's okay
They
to admit
consider
you're excited.
themselves the
Why do you want me to
true
admit
children
something that
of
I don't
Earth.
100% feel?
Joining up with the Vanguard, help the United Colonies, even get your UC citizenship?
New Atlantis isn't the only city within the United Colonies.
Do you want me to justify
The
your
city
own
of
excitement? Because I
Sidonia on
can.
Mars, to
It
this
looks
day,
good.
serves
There are things
as
about
the
this that look quite
largest
good.
mining facility for the United Colonies.
But
Beyond the
I have a
United
lot of
Colonies
misgivings.
reach, you might find yourself in a much more wild and independent coalition of star systems.
And I've been burned before.
This is Freestar Collective Space.
What's the game that came out
Freestar Collective
with-
is Aquila City.
With the fucking shit in
The
it
Stone Route
a couple
Inn
years
is
ago?
an Aquila City fixture.
Vinny, is it
Ranger
exhausting to
relies on
always be a
judgment
cynic?
and intuition.
Chat member, is it exhausting to
Best
always
for the
slurp the knob of a company that releases buggy
Neon
games?
started out as a fishing platform, but is now known throughout the Settled Systems as a pleasure city, where almost anything
Remember Fallout
goes.
76?
If you've got morality issues, this definitely isn't the job for you.
Because that was their last big release. I remember it.
The best and brightest of today for our future tomorrow.
Everyone has been chewed up and ground up by Neon. Try not to get yourself killed, all right?
Outside the bounds of civilized
no, it looks
space,
good.
there are still plenty of unclaimed systems to explore, but these areas are also home to the most hostile factions in the galaxy.
The great serpent hungers. All heathens shall be made dust in time.
Okay.
A new face. Is this the face of a brave runner here to challenge the Red Mile?
So I guess they're showing us the various factions. I want.
They are wrong.
I didn't
It
see any of
belongs
this part.
to the Crimson Fleet. It always has.
In Starfield, we're pushing our cities and settlements further than we ever have before.
Oh, another settlement
all
needs your
there,
help. Oh, I
waiting for
remember
you.
that now.
A slice of humanity's future.
So, ready to get out there?
Throughout the galaxy, there are so many things to see and stories to experience. But the most important story is the one that you tell.
Vinny, what
I'm
if
the
this
type of
game is
person who
worse than
spends
Cyberpunk
hours in
2077? I actually
And I
doubt
think
that.
people are going to be really excited when they see all of the improvements we've made.
One of the biggest overhauls was done through our character generation system.
We scanned a wide range of faces from different age groups and ethnicities, and by mixing and matching out that
And yet
data,
it
we were
still
able to
looks
create highly detailed,
really
diverse
uncanny
characters.
and unnatural.
We use that exact system to create all of the characters and NPCs you're going to see in the game. So any character you see almost always is a character you could make yourself.
I just want to make more homunculus creatures like I usually do. That's just what I do.
Take it easy. You were out cold. No physical damage. Mentally, the jury's still out. You know who you are?
I mean, it looks
New recruit
better
for
than the
Argos
faces in
Extractors?
Skyrim and Fallout.
Ring any bells? Any of this look familiar?
You start your
I want
character
to like
creation journey
cosplay as an
until you're
old
cycling
person
through
or
employee
role play
records.
rather. Oh wait, I am.
You'll pick from a lineup of 40 presets, and that'll be your starting point.
I want Vine Rising. Make Vine. Chat said there's Vine Rising
Your journey
available.
from there can be as detailed or as quick as you want it to be. This new system has more to offer than ever before.
It's also the simplest character generation system we've ever had. We let the player get as close as possible to make whatever
And
they
yet
want.
facial hair still
various
looks
facial
really,
looks you can blend
really
together,
puby.
The dermesthetic
And just
makeup,
drawn on
blemishes,
with a
scars,
marker.
piercings, teeth settings. It's a lot, but I think it's the most fun to use.
Character creation is
nice
more
smile.
than just how you look. This is also where you start to decide who you want to be. That's where backgrounds come in. Backgrounds give you a bit of backstory and start you out with 3 basic skills.
Oh, chef. You could be a
From
chef.
chef to Dusty. You know, the crew still has a betting pool about which restaurant critic you must have crossed to wind up.
Outer Worlds is the game I was
What's
thinking
great
about before.
Backgrounds is you never know when yours is going to come in handy. You could be in the middle of a fancy restaurant talking to some guy, and suddenly you learn he needs a beast hunter to help track down a monster.
Fine. I probably should stick to professionals anyway, given what happened the last time.
We're also giving you the option to customize your build even further by letting you pick up to 3 traits. Traits are completely optional, and they come with their own
It's just
advantages and
the lip sync
disadvantages.
ends
You
up
could choose
so
to meet
weird
your
in these
biggest
Bethesda
fan.
games. I know a lot. Here we go, chat. The meme.
Is it really you?
He'll join your crew and he'll give you gifts if you're willing to put up with his constant commentary.
I can't believe I get to stand near you, breathing the same air.
Ugh.
I've got to have every molecule.
My favorite trait is kid stuff.
Get it away.
You have to pay
Get it
some
away.
credits to support your parents, but they're very
Buy
sweet,
a
and
Zura.
It's really fun to go visit them.
Honey, we got ourselves a visitor.
I say, what are you
I came
doing in
across some hostile
space?
zealots in space, but because
We
I
were
had
just
chosen
in a
trait that
fantasy
made me the same
setting.
religion as them, I was able to get by without any issues.
There's another great one that gives you a damage buff when your health is low, but mercenaries will randomly show up and try to kill you. No matter what you choose, there will be plenty of ways for you to tell your story. And if you want to remove a trait, there are ways to do that too.
I want to remove the story so I can
It's a
fight
feast
and
for the
shoot.
eyes.
No, get him
Off
away.
we go to another adventure.
Push him. Yeah.
We'll let you discover that.
Or at
on
least
your
they
own.
know. They know. Cicero and the listener. Vinny, the lip sync is fine. Stop complaining about
Once
everything.
you've built the perfect character, that's when your journey can really begin. We took what we loved about skills and perks
Why are
from our
you here,
previous
chat
games,
member? Do you
put
want to
them
hear my
together to
commentary or
create an
not?
all-new skill system. Each time you level up,
You can still
get a
like
skill
the
point,
game.
which can be used to unlock or rank up skills. Ranks are unlocked by completing challenges associated with that skill. Challenges become increasingly difficult as you work your way to higher
Vinny
ranks.
is deliberately looking for negative comments. I'm looking for
With
chat
our
fights
5
today,
different
chat.
skill trees and 4 ranks per skill, there's a lot to choose from.
I like the xenosociology skill because it lets you mind control aliens.
Yeah, I'm good with mind controlling aliens. I kind of do that in my real life.
Boost packing everywhere.
That would be my first one. Honestly, like, why would you not choose this first?
I like
It just
maxing
seems so
out my
useful.
Physical tree so I can get neuro strikes and just punch my way through combat.
I don't want to punch.
That one's a lot of
I
fun.
want to shoot. I want to
Invest in skills
jetpack
that
and
suit
shoot.
your playstyle.
I'm very much a stealth player. So, I'm out there pickpocketing everyone. My favorite part about being stealthy is slowly creeping through vents like you're in a movie, and then jumping out and springing on people.
Whenever possible, I like to talk my way through
Is there a bow,
situations.
like a
This area's
space
off
bow?
limits.
Because I'll use that.
Fine, I'll issue you an access card.
I'm more of a run and gun player. I like doing the death from above thing where I boost pack over guys and I throw landmines at them.
Listen, we all know it starts like this and it ends in Sneaky Archer. And if there's an equivalent, I'm sure I'll end up there somehow.
I like blowing stuff up.
But yeah, I mean, it's your typical. Listen, Cyberpunk. It's similar. You know, I'm sure there's additional features here, but you shoot and you crawl around like a baby, and sometimes
Exploration
you
is a
punch.
key aspect of all our games. In Starfield, there are full star systems. with
Doesn't look
new
bad.
life, resources, and adventures.
But if they're gonna get like the combat right, that's a huge, like, you're doing a lot of it.
Our team worked
So
hard
I hope they
to
do.
strike a balance between fun and realism. We study data from NASA and a multitude of other sources to help us make the world feel believable.
This guy's lip sync
From
looks
the way
off,
we
chat.
approached planetary atmospheres to the way we placed biomes based on the planet's distance from the sun. Once we had created a grounded world, we
Yeah,
could start
that's
looking
very.
at
He's
all
very
the things
uncanny.
that make that world fun. When you leave a planet and head into space, you'll be navigating asteroid fields, having chance meetings with interesting strangers, dogfighting
And
in
hopefully,
space,
again,
and
like No Man's Sky
exploring
had
derelict
some of this
ships.
stuff, and it just felt so shallow. And obviously Bethesda's a way bigger studio with way more money.
It's
So
all out there.
they have the
Ultimately,
potential.
It's about rewarding your curiosity, because whether it's on the surface of a planet, the alleys of a city, or the vastness of space, you never know what you'll find.
I just like, I'm wondering how many hours I'm gonna put into this. Like, I'm already, like with Zelda, I love Tears of the Kingdom. I'm looking forward to playing more of it. But I'm already starting to see my, you know, my time is
Space
going to draw
exploration
near
is
at like
possible, thanks to
120
your
hours
ship.
or so.
Your ship is almost like having another
This feels like a
or
fucking
home you
800-hour
can make
game.
all your own. I think you'll be blown away by the amount of stuff you can do. You can buy a ship.
I'm sure you can find something you like.
Customize.
Okay,
and
this I
upgrade that
saw. I
ship,
like this. I want to
and
make my
hire
own
a
ship.
crew to keep it up and running.
And this too. It looks like Alien
It all
and
starts in
FTL.
spaceports.
Please be good.
Every spaceport has a ship technician where you can purchase, sell, and modify ships.
Anything I can help you with?
Maybe you start off with a speedy
Oh man,
fighter
my
that's
my
perfect
ships
for
are going to be
bounty
so
hunting.
panicular.
Then you might round out your ship roster with a hulking space freighter to run
I'm gonna-
cargo missions,
it'll be hulking.
or even do a little smuggling.
It'll be round in some
For now,
spots.
though, we're going to take our starting ship, the Frontier, and make some changes. You can customize and upgrade everything you see here, and you have
That's
two
awesome.
ways to do that. You can quickly upgrade individual systems like your weapons or shields, or you can deep dive and enter the shipbuilder mode. Here you can change anything, from the systems to the look and layout. Adding a new habitat module can give you more room for crew.
Like
Adding
it's
cowling can
overwhelming
change your ship's
almost.
overall silhouette.
Jesus.
An improved grav drive allows for longer distance space jumps. You can even fully customize your paint job to get the exact look you want.
Hmm.
The parts
Thanks,
you choose
Windows.
to build with don't just affect your ship's stats. They'll also affect what you can do inside your ship. You can have modules for crafting.
Windows just said you are being too
or for
positive.
storing and
Continue
displaying your
negativity.
weapons. Starfield's
Protocol.
in-game ship manufacturers bring their own look and feel to every piece of your ship. From living quarters to cargo holds, mess halls, and control rooms. Our modified
Not
Frontier
phallic
is
enough.
a practical ship, but with a little creativity, your ship can look like almost anything you want.
It's a bit odd, but one of my favorite ways of customizing ships is I make them look like animals.
Oh.
The HMS Platypus, as I call
Oh.
it,
Okay.
where it had like a giant tail to it. And we've done spiders, we've done mechs.
Oh.
So it's
Oh,
really
get ready for the social
whatever
media
your
posts when this game
imagination
comes out.
And while you can build your home among the stars the way you want to, you're probably not the only person who will call your ship home.
There seems to be many ways to torture at Korok in this game.
Ready to lift off when you are, Captain.
Engines ready.
The Frontier is fueled and ready, Captain.
Some of the members of Constellation can join you on your journey.
Just the sheer
These
amount of like
companions can serve on
textures
your
and
crew,
models
and they'll always
alone
be there when
is
you
just
travel.
staggering.
We'll be traveling together until we either find an artifact or this lead runs dry.
My God.
Each companion comes with their own valuable skills for your ships and outposts, as well as unique quest lines. Eventually, some friendships might blossom into romance.
I don't know that I've ever really loved anyone except you.
He loves
And
his
if you're
cowboy
looking for
hat.
a little extra help on your ship, you can always hire additional crew at spaceports.
From the hit movie
Like any
Space
room on your
Truckers.
ship for someone like me?
You'll also meet potential crew members out in the world.
Still think there might be a spot for me on your ship? I gotta get off this rock.
Assign crew to your ship or outposts, and their unique skills will affect how they run. And just like companions, most crew members can lend a hand in the field. Take
But
Bosco, for
it
instance.
seems like you can just not engage with a
He's
lot of this
designed
stuff.
around
If you don't
the
want
core
to.
basics of a NASA machine,
Please avoid getting shot. You might die.
I still want to give it almost.
Cars, lower the sarcasm down to 25%.
This tends to make him feel more human-like and give him a little personality.
It is a shame exploration requires so much bloodshed.
Using the shipbuilding tools and crew selection features in Starfield, you'll be able to build and captain the ship of your dreams. And now, let's take to the sky.
So, I love FTL. Obviously, that's one of my favorite games I've played a lot of, but I saw briefly, I saw that the combat in the space does look a little bit more action oriented, so I'm curious to see this segment. I want to see what this is going to be like.
Putting you in the cockpit of your very own spaceship and telling you that you can do pretty much anything. And that is really cool for us as developers. Space
You probably make an X-Wing.
should be exciting and dangerous, and you should feel like you're in complete control every step of the way. We've extended that sense of control to ship combat. It's not about just hitting your triggers to fire your weapons.
Oh, well damn. Part of me likes that.
It's a complex dance between your piloting skills and our power allocation system.
Oh shit, we gotta dance.
Boosting
Yeah, that's the
power to your
FTL part.
engines will make your ship faster. Powering up the ground drives will shorten the amount of time it takes before you can make a jump.
Wait, you can jump through a planet?
And moving your power to your weapons and shields means you're ready for a fight. You should always be on your toes because you're not alone out there.
It's a little more FTL than I expected. Just allocating stuff. It's neat, I guess. And then, then you do the shoot. That's when you start shooting. Got it.
Unlocking the targeting control system skill will allow you to zero in on specific subsystems of the ship you target.
I will have Riker, Geordi, I will have Data, Troy, Crusher, and of course Worf on my crew.
After destroying an enemy
Ship
ship,
vets.
you
Yeah.
can loot the remains from your cockpit. You can always turn any ship that engages you into scrap. But you can also take a more personal approach by docking with the enemy vessel and boarding their ship.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I like that. It's very ambitious, chat. It is very ambitious.
Once you've taken control of an enemy ship, it's yours.
What can I do with
Your
it?
fleet and retrieve it at any spaceport.
I want to sell it. Turn it into a box of
Space is
scraps.
way more than fighting for your life. Just like when you're planetside, there are plenty of sights to see and stops to make on the way to your next adventure. Like these massive star yards.
Time to get sidetracked for 3
Walk the
consecutive
halls,
days.
Talk to the crew. Maybe get talked into buying a whole new ship.
A civilian in my star yard. Let's see about getting you a proper ship. One worthy of you.
Maybe you'll dock with a gigantic battleship.
Can't
like the
not
UC
see
Vigilance.
Oblivion animations. I know they probably overhauled that whole thing, but there's a part of me that just sees
Or
Oblivion
Rebellos with
characters.
The galaxy's wealthy elite on a cruise ship fit for the stars. There are plenty of personal encounters to be had as well.
I know,
You
same
can
engine.
hail any ship you come across to trade, swap info.
I feel like this is the engine of
maybe even
Theseus, though. How much of it still remains?
When I'm playing, I generally go crazy. I definitely go like the more piracy routes. I want to take over ships. I'm gonna board ships. I'm like, this is now mine. I steal all the sandwiches and put them, in my cargo.
Oh, yeah, I
that
saw
have
this.
Specifically for sandwiches. I don't want to play the hero.
Huh?
But I want to
Oh,
go out and
sandwiches?
just start taking things from people as quickly as possible.
Some strangers might be looking for a little human connection.
That was a
in the
really
darkness
good
of space.
transition.
Hello,
Did you see that?
I just finished cooking up
Sandwich
some
went
food.
into planet.
If you want to come on over, just pop on by.
Listen,
Some
chat.
of the best moments are the ones
Sandwiches
you
or
discover on your own.
rolls of cheese. What are they called? Wheels of cheese.
The
Sorry.
thing I love most about Starfield is that it is
This
a
is just a
Bethesda
thing
game
people do.
through and through.
It's really about going to strange new places, meeting interesting people, and getting sidetracked on zany adventures.
Say strange
And
new worlds.
Realizing 2 hours later
Say it.
that you're involved in a completely new
Strange
story.
new worlds.
You're human. We thought we were the only ones to leave Earth.
That DNA is so present here. It's in our random encounters, it's in our handcrafted quests, and it feels so cool to play it and just make your own path in this universe. There are over 1,000 planets out there, just waiting for you to visit.
I will visit 13 of those planets.
We want you to feel like explorers, breaking ground on new planets, exploring every inch of a mostly untouched galaxy. We want you to feel hopeful. We want you to feel this sense of awe and wonder.
Someone in chat said, Vinny, are you starting to believe?
A little fear. We're giving you a massive playground and a ton of toys. And just
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I had this thought when I watched some of this previously, which is this game, if done right, could be amazing.
Hey everybody, we've shown you so much stuff, but we thought we'd just take a little break and
pieces that the astronauts used during the Apollo.
The East Von hardware.
I saw this. It's watch. He's selling us a watch, everybody. Todd Howard's a watch salesman now. And headphones too. Skip. Here's a headset for a single-player game. Oh, did we rise in a bit? I see we got some dropped frames.
We always put so much care into all those little details that breathe life into our worlds. But Starfield isn't just a Bethesda Game Studios world. It's a Bethesda Game Studios galaxy.
I'm sorry, Todd. I'm sorry.
So
I love your
why go
game.
This big with Starfield? Because we want to give you freedom on a galactic level. The freedom to experience both the exciting planets and the quiet ones.
I like the quiet ones.
Scanning a planet before you land is a great way to get a sneak peek at the available resources you can use for crafting, building, and customizing.
That was actually the best part of No Man's Sky, was just landing on a planet and taking a picture.
We generate the planet itself as a procedural content, but the handcrafted content itself comes as the player explore. Our system builds the planet as the player
This is a ton of
approaches
procedural.
it. We stitch together a block of terrain. After that, we have the system that adds interesting locations for the player to explore, creatures to encounter, ore and plants to pick up. It allows
That's
us
what
to
I worry
add
about
that
the most.
touch of
And also like
environmental storytelling that Bethesda is known for.
are people going to find like seams in the mountains?
Their habitat isn't far from here.
I mean, I found some in Zelda.
For us, we would be in your debt.
And that's
even if your
one
friends
world.
were to visit the same planet that you had, you would have a different story to tell.
Jetpack. There you go. It's nice to see that shotguns in the future are still shotguns. Just angular. They're just not as smooth.
It's completely up to you how you want to interact with each planet. Whether you want to explore and see what you can find.
That's right, double barrel is still useful in the
harvest
future.
resources and be on your way.
In a time with lasers,
Or
bullets
simply
are still
take in
good
the
to have. Remember, the Borg can
With the help
adapt,
of your scanner, you'll chart the uncharted
so you
and
need a
discover
Tommy gun.
exotic wildlife.
So Picard can go,
If you have the skills, you can even figure out that certain creatures and plants, you can build an outpost and produce resources from those plants and animals.
Yeah, I like the animal designs are cool.
And rewards for fully surveying planets and fully surveying a whole system.
I want to say No Man's Sky again. Can I just say that real quick?
We really wanted to think of them as natural to the environment.
That was a cool
We didn't want
foreskin
alien
monster.
monsters. We wanted native wildlife. Something you've never seen before.
That's a mantis. Okay, that I've never seen
When
before.
it comes to our exteriors, when the sun moves, all that light is calculated in real time through the atmosphere. Our biggest goal for lighting with Starfield was to make the game feel more filmic, to use lighting and color to really make it feel more cinematic.
I think the environments look great. You need a 5090 to run this? Again, Tears of the Kingdom proves that proper optimization, even on outdated hardware of like almost a decade, a game can still have its moments of looking nice if it's, again, really well optimized and, you know, good
After
art
some
direction.
exploring, you can find a spot to set up a base camp.
This is, by the way, this is 30 FPS
Outposts
on
can be built
Xbox.
almost anywhere on
Chat.
any planet. And the habitat modules come in all shapes
We'll
and
talk
sizes,
about that after
filling
this.
all different purposes. You can even live in them. Assign crew and companions to work at your outposts for added bonuses.
Fucking
and
base
set up
builder, too.
extractors to harvest resources while you're away.
Something cool we have this time is we have a new fly cam. Where
Why would you
can
ever
toggle
waste your
between
time making a
on-foot
base when
building,
you have a
or
ship?
You can now use a top-down isometric
Yeah.
camera, which helps plan out larger parts of the outpost and placing those larger halves. So that way you can really plan your structures
Colonies?
and what the overall feel of your outpost is. And then when you're on your feet, you can really decorate and fine-tune things.
I'd make one
much
base.
easier.
It just looks like fun for a bit to I like to make a base in a video game. I don't think I would go too hard on the base building, but I would definitely want to, you know, I remember when I made my base in No Man's Sky and then eventually an update pulped it. But even before that, I couldn't find it. Like I didn't even know how to navigate the game's menus enough to find it. It was just stuck on some planet someplace in some other galaxy. So that was gone forever.
Mod your weapons to adapt them to your playstyle. Different weapon sights and scopes, larger magazines, a selection of grips and barrels, different ammunition like explosive rounds.
This is the least exciting part of the game for me now, weirdly enough.
All you stealth players out there will surely need a suppressor. You can also choose to go hands-on with melee weapons.
I think it's always a delicate balance between like what's realistic, what's sim, and what's Hollywood. And I think we sort of err on the side of like what's fun for the player.
Just lots of good shoot, whatever it may be.
Starfield, we've
just
completely
make the guns
overhauled our
feel good,
combat.
I guess, and
It's more dynamic, the animations are more fluid. It just feels great.
time to kill should be good.
We probably have more mods and more weapons in this game than I want to say any other game we've done before. There's a lot of variety.
Upgraded gear is just one of the many factors to pay attention to when engaging in combat.
Did a small
You may need to
country
switch things up
develop
based
this
on your
game?
environment. Gravity is different for each planet, and boost packs are excellent for getting around. And for giving you an edge in combat. Sometimes you'll even feel like you're flying.
I don't know, chat. It doesn't look as good as Redfall.
Zero
I
gravity
don't know.
environments pose a different challenge. Firing a ballistic weapon in zero-G will actually push you backwards. Energy weapons, on the other hand, offer a more stable shooting experience.
We
Okay.
also have mag weapons. These are high-powered electromagnetic induction ballistic arrays. Each barrel has its own target.
That's a fancy way of saying
dish out some serious
bullets.
damage.
But just real fast.
Whether you want to get up close and personal with your own two fists,
Yeah, they're like tiny railguns,
or
but
you
they,
like
you
more
know,
compact weapons like pistols and submachine guns,
they serve the same
or
function.
maybe you prefer something bigger. Starfield's got you covered.
When are we going to invent new weapons in video games? Turok did it. We got the cerebral bore. Say more nice things to get a free code. Bethesda doesn't give me free shit. The combat looks solid enough. Especially like if they've learned from all the previous games and previous mistakes and have just continued to like tighten the formula, I can see the combat being more fun and feeling better than previous games. You know what's great about commenting over a Bethesda game? If I'm too positive, I'm an asshole. If I'm too negative, I'm an asshole.
Thanks again for being with us today. We are just
Fun.
so grateful that you've taken the time and spent it here. I know there was probably a lot to take in. There's a lot to the game, even more than we could show here. You know, as we play it, we're always sharing these unique and special moments that only a game like this
How
can
old is
bring.
Todd?
When I think about what makes it special, it really is the people here. This game is a reflection of the incredible
Like 52?
and passionate team that made it.
Looks good for
All
his
of
age.
them putting something special of themselves into it.
Todd Eternal.
So let's hear some of their favorite moments.
I love the way that our final combination of all the new tech has come together to create some of the most beautiful sunsets and sunrises we've ever had in any of our games.
I love the creatures, the exploration, every biome is different. The word that comes to mind is vast.
I like to use our photo mode to take rock star photos.
I just love that constant feel of discovery and, wow, I can't believe that there's more here.
I'm most excited about our outpost building systems.
My favorite part is every time you step out on a planet, it's a unique experience.
I mean,
you spend all this time building your ship and you see it on the landing pad. These things are gigantic. It's the kind of thing that you just can't get anywhere else.
There's something about seeing a tower over in the distance and going,
You can
I know
climb
the
it?
gravity's low here. I think I can make that jump.
My favorite part is biomes, spaceships,
audio design,
planets, the day-night cycle. Those details matter to me.
Can someone
Diplomacy,
film
exploration,
themselves in an
the
office that
ending.
looks like this?
Obviously.
And just say something like ridiculous?
Incredible amount of worlds we
And just
created.
edit it
Sniper
in
rifles,
there?
come on.
Lever action, rocket launcher,
brain sprout.
Cock. Oh.
I laugh, but some people might find creepy. I don't know. I know it's right, Ben. The thing that I enjoy most about the game is the freedom to be who you want to be.
What is this? A
what you
beach
wanna
planet?
do.
What the fuck? Is it Ryza?
It's what you've come to expect from a Bethesda title, but on a much bigger scale.
And not a
On
single
behalf of all
orange
of us,
tabby in
We
sight.
can't wait for you to play Starfield and make your own special moments.
Let's go. Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.
Someone just wrote apology tweet inbound. Did you see the compilation of developer apologies? Okay. Okay. We're going to talk about this a little bit. So, remember, do not pre-order.
We love because the choice of
I
where
mean,
to
chat,
go, it's not
visually the game does look quite nice. And there's a lot of stuff here that I think is very impressive. And if done well, could be absolutely amazing. I mean, No Man's Sky is a game that brought me back a bunch of times after it got patched. I was very impressed with how much work they put into that to get it in better shape. And yet something about it just didn't keep me stuck around. That's not a good sentence, but you know what I mean. I tried my best, and every time I played another patch of No Man's Sky, I would end up just quitting very quickly. So I think part of it is the game itself, and part of it is the game is just too big. There's just too much. And it didn't really keep me around. And also, you know, there were other issues that I had for that game, but the thing I have, it's a me problem. Like, okay, Tears of the Kingdom came out about a month ago, and I'm still playing it, and I'm maybe halfway through how much I'd like to do. Something close to that, maybe a little over. So it can take me a long time to play through games like this. And the question is, and it happened with Fallout 4, and it happens with some of their other games, on a personal level, how much of this am I going to engage with before I get bored and want to finish the game? So it also depends on how many other open world games are out at the same time. Like, you know, Zelda has been consuming a lot of my life and time, and then this comes out a couple months from now. It's like, am I going to want to like dive into 100 planets or 1,000? So I don't know. That's just me, right? So you're here for my opinions. You want to see what I think, what a dummy who is not a professional thinks about a video game like this, right? And I think there's a lot of potential. The worlds look great. The aliens look awesome. Combat looks pretty solid. The shipbuilding looks awesome. And the style looks pretty good for a lot of the stuff. Like, yeah, I get what they're going for. NASA punk. It's a weird way to put it, but I get what they mean. And yeah, there's some really nice things there that jumped out at me. But I'm not 100% sure if you're attempting like 6 different things that you will succeed. And Bethesda has been known, and the reason I am negative or cynical is because I played a 10-year anniversary release of Skyrim, and it was still a glitchy mess. Because I played Fallout 76 on release, and it was a piece of shit. Because I played Fallout 4, and I thought it was okay. It was very okay. And it kind of didn't keep my interest too long. So those are my misgivings. And then you have a lot of other developers releasing these games, and then a week later or a couple days later, there's an apology. Like the game I'm going to play tonight for some unfucking godly reason, Lord of the Rings Gollum. No one expected that to be good. But it's something to consider when pre-ordering a game and getting overly excited. Doesn't mean I'm like negative. I want games to be good. I love space. I love games. And I like Bethesda games to a degree. I really do. So I would like for this to be good. But if I'm like, and I've seen way worse barbs thrown at this game from all corners. And I'll just say this. If me criticizing facial animations or saying, hey guys, maybe don't pre-order, if that's enough to set you off, check your fucking priorities. Because Bethesda would love to just know that you're out there, like white knighting for them so hard. Really. Now, I get a lot of shit for how much I like Nintendo, but Zelda is a huge-ass game they delayed 1 year and 3 months, and the game ended up being fantastic, and I really enjoyed that it wasn't a glitchy mess, and it was just something that was just functional, and it felt complete. It felt done. So if I get something like that, I'm happy. And it turns out Bethesda has not done that traditionally, especially on, immediate launch. Another game that comes to mind is Cyberpunk 2077. Another, No Man's Sky. These huge titles ended up launching and being like disappointing messes. So, and Nintendo has released their fair share of garbage as well. And so, it's I know it can be a little hypocritical, but I do think genuinely be careful what you get excited for. Be careful what you get so invested in that you're willing to like defend it on the internet, because as awesome as this game looks, and how great would it be if this game came together and you could do all those things and they all worked really well and the game was a fun, entertaining experience. I would love that. So we wait. and in a couple months we'll find out. And hopefully it's not Pokemon Scarlet. But, you know, looked nice. Just works. Keep in mind they're trying to sell you on this game. They're going to show you, they're not going to show you the issues with it, as it is a long ass ad. Yeah. Well, we watched an advertisement, and the thing about it is, the advertisement was good. It's a good advertisement. I really enjoyed it. And there's a lot of, whether or not the game ends up being like a buggy mess or disjointed, the artists who work for Bethesda are very talented, and the game looks phenomenal. I do have my misgivings about the same engine they've been using for like 20 years, because that engine is crust incarnate. So, you know, that's why we wait. And in a couple months from now, chat, we'll be able to talk about this when the game is out, and maybe I'll play it. And if I do, it'll be fun. And if it's not fun, why bother? Said a famous person one time. So yeah, I enjoyed this showcase, having watched it all for the first time, and not disjointed, and actually seeing the whole thing. It was a pretty effective ad, and that said, I'm not pre-ordering it, and we'll wait, and hopefully it'll deliver. But man, I'll say one last thing. I am a big sci-fi nut, and like I said, I love space. I love the Alien franchise. I love Star Wars, Star Trek, you name it. Space is the place I want to be. I don't know why I said that like that, but when I see something like this, there's a part of me that's just fucking primal, where I'm like, oh, I want to live in space. I want to make my own spaceship. I want to go around the stars. So I of course am very interested in a property like this. So yeah, hopefully it's good. And but again, the older I get, the less time I want to spend in a game. Open world has its use and its place, and I love a good open world game once in a while. Keywords once in a while. Sometimes I'm okay with just a 10-hour long, semi-linear, you know, fun, good narrative game. And so, you know, we're getting this real close to another giant open world game. And then there's that Star Wars open world game, which looks pretty good, but we'll see what that is when the time comes. So yeah, there's just a lot of, yeah, Gollum is my shit. I love Gollum. So yeah, so I guess we'll see. Yeah, Ubisoft has been another company that's been somewhat disappointing. And then you have Final Fantasy 16, which isn't 100% open world, but looks huge. So there's a lot. There's just a lot of stuff to divide your attention. And in order for me to, it's less about the money for me, because this is what I do for a living and I love it, and I love that I get to play games. It's more about how much can a brain occupy a game occupy my brain space. And I have to divide my time between like real life stuff and my creative stuff and like streaming games and also playing them. So a game like this, I could see myself streaming it and playing it. And it's just, you know, it's almost overwhelming to think about. Like, I'm excited for a game like this as much as I fear its release. But that's all I wanted to say. It's yeah, so I have very complex thoughts about this, but overall, very good ad, very positive look into this thing, and I will wait and see, and hopefully we will enjoy, and I get to be this cowboy with the shitty beard that looks painted on, and fight some weird alien things. Great. You also got to appreciate Bethesda showing so much before launch. I do appreciate that. So when I say good ad, I mean that a little sarcastically, but genuinely, this is like nearly 45 minutes of footage. So, you know, you know what you're looking at. Hopefully it all works when you play it. It just needs to work. So anyway, thank you for watching. And if I was too positive and I upset you, well, damn. And if I was too negative and I upset you, well, damn. Can't win. Oh well.
Hey, Pops, does this thing work?
No.
Beautiful. Give it up, baby.